Welcome to Elevating Beyond with Mark and Dane. In our eyes, this is more than just a podcast. It's a lifestyle. It's an opportunity to rise above your fears and your doubts, others' definitions of what realistic should mean to you. Our mission is simply to change lives. Change lives. Whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, a leader in your community, or just about your marriage. We're not trying to defy physics. We just want to enhance and add value one life at a time. Our stories are going to be raw and transparent, but Mark and I believe that's how it should be. So welcome to Elevating Beyond. It is the only podcast with a 2-word mission statement: change lives. Welcome back to Elevating Beyond, along with my co-host, Mark Minard. I'm Dane Gingrich, and today's show is going to be one-on-one, baby. We haven't done one of these in a while, Mark. I'm looking forward to our one-on-ones, dude.
Me too.
It's gonna be fun, dude. I always have fun shooting the breeze with my Robin. I appreciate it, my Robin, my little co-host. I'm just joking.
Everyone knows I'd be Batman, but go ahead.
Real quick though, before we start, today's podcast, as always, is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial by going to elevatingbeyond.com. Click the Audible banner we have there, and it'll take you right to your 30-day free trial. And I gotta say, Mark's book's gonna be on Audible, baby. Mark's book's brand new one he just released.
That's
Story
right.
of You. It's going to be on Audible, so why don't you make that one your 30-day free trial? And I'm excited. I'm excited for that one too, man, because I'm honored to be doing the Audible version for you, man. That's going to be awesome.
Me too. Yes, your beautiful voice is going to be reading my beautiful story.
I'm not even going to read it. You know, I feel like I know your story, right? Your book, The Story of You. I know, I just feel like I know it. I'm going to ad-lib it. I'm not even going to read. I'm just going to close my eyes and picture you as a young man getting beat up in your car, going to jail, coming out, having a fight with your dad, going to school. I'm just going to ad-lib the whole thing. Would that be good? You could do it. I think
you definitely know a lot of it and have been part of a lot of it too. So, I'm pumped up for that. And, that should be, you and I are going to be grinding on that, but that should definitely be available in the next, I think, probably 30 to 60 days up on there. So awesome. Fun stuff.
Yeah. So go to elevatingbeyond.com, click the Audible banner we have there, and it'll take you right to Mark's book and your 30-day free trial. Also, hey, Mark, baby, our t-shirts, man, they're launched. They're being launched. I love it. Our first edition, our first batch of Elevating Beyond t-shirts, thanks to Anna Bodman Johnson.
Yes.
She's a member of our mastermind, and she just killed it.
A rock star member of our mastermind. Yeah. And we're not just trying to make this whole thing a commercial. We're just talking about stuff that's awesome. Like these shirts, I'm buying one. I'm pumped up. Like it's cool. It's got the logo, Change Lives. Well, we're already paying for them anyway.
That's right. That's right.
But, yeah, man, we got that limited amount that we're ordering for the first round. So we're starting to get pre-orders for those. Shoot those to our email, elevatingbeyond@gmail. And Anna knocked it out of the park. We'll share that protocol more too. It's not the protocol, the actual shirt. I love it.
And this isn't about a commercial, man. This is about sharing what we've been grinding on now, coming up on, 10 months, crossing 250,000 downloads, getting close to 300,000 downloads in 10 months. I mean, this isn't a commercial, dude. This is a celebration. This is just beginning of proof of, hey, dude, on our phones, the first episode, can barely hear us. We had a pretty cool story. Let's share some stories. What do you think? It'll work. Good. Let's try it. And then here we are. And I think,
that's right.
I have no problem high-fiving and celebrating what's starting and what's about to come. I mean,
sure.
It's been awesome. It's been
and
an
the
awesome
listeners
ride.
have been on the journey with us, so it's like we're all in this together, celebrating together, and it's pushing them to do their dreams. They're like, these losers, Dane and Mark can do it. Man, I know I can now.
You said it right. You took it right out of my mouth, man. It's sure as heck not about Mark and Dane. That is for sure, dude. This is all about the stories that are resonating, the fear and the courage. And today is about, we don't have a guest. We have you and I, and wanted to talk about something I just recently saw. I was watching videos and I was looking through YouTube, and I came across Iyanla Vanzant. She was giving a keynote from a while back, and recently learned kind of a cool fact she talked about, and trying to relate it into everybody's life.
And she said she was going to a doctor's appointment, an eye doctor's appointment with her grandson. And she loves sales, right? She loves sales. So she had a 2-for-1 sale, and she's like, I'll go. I don't need glasses, but I'll go. Maybe I'll get a pair of like reading glasses or something. And she went, and her grandson needed some glasses, but she also took her tests too. And, the doctor came out, the eye doctor came out and said, where are your glasses, miss? And Iyanla was like, what are you talking about? I don't wear glasses. I never have. And they said, what? Like, not only you need glasses, you need 3 pairs of glasses. You need reading glasses. Yes. You need driving glasses, and you need glasses to wear every day, all day around. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? I don't need glasses. I've never need glasses. I'm good. I'm fine. And he said, and he said something that blew me away. And the topic of our show today, he said, I know you think you don't need glasses, but here's why. He said, your eyes will adjust to the deficiencies in your vision. Listen, that's so huge, Mark. That's such a deep topic.
Deficiencies in your vision.
Yeah. So let's say it again. Your eyes will adjust to the deficiencies in your vision, meaning you might think you're seeing correctly, and all along your eyes are just adjusting to you maybe actually being legally blind.
Sure.
So what's that about? Today's not about let's go get some reading glasses. That's not what the show's about. This is about, are you living intentionally? Are you waking up and setting daily intentions, or are you stuck in your routines where you think you're getting stuff done, you think you're hustling and grinding, but actually you're legally blind. You're really not. And your life, your vision, your sight has been clouded, right? Not knowing that it's been clouded.
Sure.
So I want to talk about that, because I think, man, that's deep. I think this could be like a 4-hour conversation.
Yeah.
We all fall into that, where we think we're working, or we think we're hustling, or we think we're being purposeful. But if we take a step back and really look and assess and really like maybe take a vision test of our day and our week, maybe we're not. Maybe we are blind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes we're doing everything we need to do except the one thing we really need to be doing.
That's huge.
And a lot of times we're avoiding that by busyness, trying to make it feel like, and it's not, busyness doesn't equal effectiveness all the time either.
Right.
And I'm speaking this because I've been guilty of it myself. We all have. And really, it turns into procrastination, because people think of procrastination, and you're talking pre-show of people who are just sitting on their couch all day and being lazy. Yeah. Really, you can be working 20 hours a day and still procrastinating from what you really should be doing.
Right. Right. And don't you think procrastination isn't about sometimes it's about being lazy. I think it comes down to really just not prioritizing.
Yeah.
Right? And again, prioritizing means setting daily intentions. What is your priority today? What are you trying to achieve today? And it doesn't have to mean like defying physics, right? Like we say in our intro.
Sure.
It's not about defying physics. It's about taking little small, very intentional, very purposeful steps. So, and being able to step back and asking the question when you look in the mirror, like, Am I really being effective today, or am I adjusting to my lack of intention, right? Have my eyes, has my vision, is my vision adjusting to this mediocrity that it's so easy to fall into if we don't step back and look almost like look down on our day and our week and our month from outside of us, right? Yeah. You were talking about earlier too, before we started the show today off air, about your book and what it's taken to get it done. And you could have easily have said, I'll let you finish it, but you could have easily have said, I just don't know if I can write this because that will take me away from X, Y, Z. So take us through kind of that process of what it took and why you didn't put it on hold.
Yeah. And again, I mean, the one thing is you literally just have to start doing, because some people can confuse that with waiting till everything's going to be aligned and you're going to have all the answers. And they can use busyness on studying how to write the perfect book, spend a year doing that. That could have been a year spent on writing the perfect book. Yep. And learning along the way. So, and I'm not saying either one's the 100% right way. You got to do a combination of both. But for me, I remember it, Dan. I was sitting downstairs and I was up early doing morning reading. I was actually reading Eric Thomas's Greatness is Upon You. I had drawn a little stick figure drawing, The Grass is Greener on the Other Side, which is in the story of you. And there's a part in there where Eric Thomas kind of calls you out to write down really something big you're going to work on this year. And I kept saying, I'm going to do a book. I know how that's going to add and help people in so many ways. And I own a company like you do too, Dane. You know, we're super, super busy, but I was seeing the bigger picture of how that was going to help more people and in turn help the company that helps people as well. And I remember I'm like, that's it. I'm gonna go through with this. And I literally wrote it down. I said it was like around this time actually last year, and said by the end of 2015, I would have it done. And I let some people know, a couple accountability partners, you know, as soon as I verbally said it to them out loud, then I really knew there wasn't going to be turning back to.
Yeah.
And I had to just continue day in and day out. Some days I didn't do a good job. Some days I did a better job. Some days I got totally off focus and had to realign. But I think the main thing is being able to stop and look back and kind of get to that aerial view, like you said, of not what's right in front of you in the moment, because it can feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And also, when you don't do things right, people can dwell on that and think, oh, I'm not doing this right, so I better just completely stop and go back to what I was doing before. It's like, learn from that. Okay, here's how I can be a little more effective the next day, and move onward. Like, learn from it, but move onward.
When you were in the process of this book, right, especially in the beginning and middle stages, because once you catch momentum like that, once you get through the beginning stages and the middle stages of anything really huge, then the momentum can take over. Then there's a separate part of the last 5 or 10%. It could hit you in the face. But once you got through the beginning and the middle stages where you created momentum, did you find yourself kind of playing a little tug of war with effectiveness? Did you ever find yourself kind of putting it off? You know, maybe putting other things off, or worrying about putting other things off because you had to do this, right? That whole, I see perfectly. I'm not blind. And the eye doctor come in saying, dude, you're so blind. You're caught right up in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so true. I mean, there's a great analogy. We've talked about it before that Dave Ramsey mentioned with talking to a wide receiver, for a professional that was on a professional football team, asking him, how come, you get paid millions a year? How come, what I don't get is, how does the ball sometimes hit you right in the numbers and you completely drop it?
Right.
And this analogy applies to everything. And the guy said, well, there's a few things. It's all about what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could be focusing on this gigantic Sasquatch that you can hear is about to just crush you. And he's like, you don't understand. Like, you can hear the footsteps, like boom, boom. And he's like, and you're going to get hit. So if you dwell on that, it can hit you right in the numbers because you're focusing just on that. He said, or you can be too focused on the end goal only and be looking way ahead into the end zone and already pre-focusing that I've already got this touchdown. So it's like I've already won and got the victory without making the catch and running in between.
Right.
He's like, it takes a combination of knowing Sasquatch is coming to hit you, staying focused on the big picture there, but then staying in the moment of catching the ball,
Yeah.
And sometimes we can start to get caught up, like even with a book, say I just put all my time only in that, or the tension was getting off balance and I was putting all my hours in that, not focusing on other areas of life. It's sort of like that's where something's going to hit me in the numbers, or I'm going to get blindsided and tackled by a problem that comes up, that, a fire that was building up that I didn't take time to focus on and put out.
Right.
So if that makes sense, and there's no perfect, I've done all of the above. I've got hit in the numbers and dropped it. I've caught it and made it into the end zone. I've caught it and got relentlessly tackled and bloodied and bruised, Yeah. But I think the main thing is to keep focusing on what needs to be done and just not having people to talk to and being able to self-adjust and just don't dwell on everything. It's only going to stop you.
Absolutely.
Right?
It sounds like as you and I have gotten to know each other better and we're doing more and more of these shows and I hear more examples from your life personally. And, you talk about how you've grown and how I've grown, just everything. Listening to our guests, it sounds like for you personally, you are extremely aware of, like, you get aerial, you get that aerial vision quite often where you're aware of when you're spinning or when you're too tired. Like the other day, you're like, damn, I haven't taken a shower in like 14 years. Like, I don't know. I'm so busy. I can't even get in the shower. I wasn't going to mention that. Sorry.
No, it was true. It was true. The week that the book came out last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, I was overly grinding and
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're very aware of when you get quote unquote blind, right? When you become blind to the day, and it doesn't mean you sit in your room and you sulk and you're still hustling, you're still working, but you're very aware of when you're spinning and not being effective versus, when you need to back off and readjust, right? Would that be accurate?
It would be, but I want to make it clear to everyone so they don't think that that's like some type of talent that you have naturally. Yeah. So if they're thinking, well, I'm not aware, so I guess that's because I have been not aware of it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And learned the hard way through a lot of failures.
How do you go though? How do you go from not aware to always being aware? How do you get to that spot?
Well, I'm never always aware. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be having some ups and downs, but I'm definitely more foundationally aware than I used to be, because I used to learn when I completely only obsessed on our company Dreamshine, and I'd be up all night and that's all I would talk about. And my wife was good at putting me in check with that.
as they are.
Yes. Yep. And there was some fights back in the day, and I realized, okay, if 10 people tell me I'm obsessing about the same thing, maybe they're right.
Yeah.
And I need to stop defending myself and start listening to some of the wisdom that's being told, even if 100% of it's not true.
Yeah.
Even if I'm thinking in my head, yeah, but my motives are good. Okay. 10 out of 10 people that you trust really well are telling you are obsessing way too much on this. Now, I do obsess about things more than the average person. That's actually one of my strengths. When it becomes a weakness is when I obsess on it so much that I'm having that tension in all the other areas of life. One way, Dane, before is I would obsess on things so much and not even be able to sleep.
Right.
And so then I started realizing, wait a second, like the only one that's losing here is me. So I have to learn to just kind of shut my mind off, think about different things. Sometimes I would read something before I went to sleep, or just get my mind off of it in different ways and be able to just kind of shut it off when I can and realize the world will go on.
Yeah. I love that. And it's so critical, dude. Let me real quick reintroduce the topic. Our eyes adjust to the deficiencies in our vision, meaning they could make us believe, our eyes can make us believe that we're seeing perfectly. We don't need glasses, when in actuality we're legally blind. Our life, we can be walking through our life. We can be waking up, working really hard. I'm not talking about the person that's waking up and eating bonbons and watching TV all day. I'm talking about the people that really are still working hard, and they're getting things done and they're getting their to-do list done, but still aren't being effective and really aren't moving forward like they think they are, because they've adjusted to their hustle. They've adjusted to kind of a lack, or not even knowing it's lack. And so, like, a specific example, I hear someone in the audience saying, dude, come on, talk to us about give us a specific example. You and I in this whole elevating beyond journey, we have we talked about it on air. We have huge visions. We're going to do this. We're going to do a live event. We're going to teach how to do podcasts. We're going to get all this gear. We're going to do this. We're going to go here. We're going to speak here. We got all these things. We made a list. We're talking huge. And before we knew it, we were kind of blinded by, we kind of got stuck in not moving. We're talking, we're working, we're hustling, and we're like a hamster on the wheel, right? We're moving a lot. The downloads are good. I'm not talking about the downloads. I'm not talking about the shows. I'm talking about outside to really take this to another level. Our feet are moving. We're on the phone. We're texting 1 trillion times a day. We're shooting emails, boom, boom, boom. And we look back and we're like, wait a minute. We really haven't moved that much. What's going on?
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about. And so what we did, we said, all right. And you and I, just a few weeks ago said, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And we both said, wait, what's the one thing we got to get done now? The one thing, a new website, and that's launched. It's being kind of redone. It's going to be real. It's like beautiful.
Sure.
And then the shirts, Elevating Beyond shirts. We said, okay, we want to have these events. Well, what do we got to do right now to start the entire thing? Our shirts. And within like a week and a half, bam, launched. And we got out of that hamster wheel, right?
Yeah.
And now we move on to.
Because if we would have tried to have done it all, though, just to go back to what you're saying, then none of it would have got done.
That's what we were doing.
Yep.
We were trying to do it all. We were having big visions, and there's nothing wrong with big visions, but like we said, we didn't know we were stuck until we stopped and looked and like maybe, we had an argument here. I don't know how it worked, but we were like, look, what is going on? Like we're both, what's going on? And we both just realized, look, man, the freaking eye doctor just came out and said, you need glasses, dude. Like you're legally blind. You need some glasses. Back off and let's look at this thing again. What do we have to do? Bam. And we said website, bam, got it. We said shirts, bam, got it. Now, here we go. Let's tease it. Now we're talking about intention. We wake up, Mark and Dane wake up every day with intention. We are going to blow your freaking feet off, your socks off, your shoes off. I don't know the damn analogy. We're going to blow you out of the water with something we got coming out. I don't know if we can really announce it, but no one's done it.
We can't announce it because no one we don't want to I don't even know a way to describe it without giving it away. It's going to take a lot of time, but we're going to know that that's going to be our focus. But when this comes out,
no one's done
we're taking it to the next level. And this is all for us being involved with our listeners and knowing how we all can work together and help each other. And where our strengths are to reach out, but we just can't give it away. But oh my gosh, we're excited about it.
And you said it perfectly. This isn't something where all of a sudden Mark and Dane are going to do. We're doing it for you, with you, the audience. And when we launch it, and it's going to take a couple months. It's going to be a hustle. It's going to be fun, man. But this is going to involve all of you. It's going to really kind of, like we always say, right? We're going to unite one another. It has not been done. The platform in which we are going to do it on top of is there already and has been there for a long time.
Yep.
But we are going to come and we looked at this platform and we said, why hasn't anybody done this, man? Like this is a duh moment. It takes a ton of time, right? Like some creativity and some imagination, but oh my gosh, like this is going to be big.
Yeah.
So
we're bringing our style. There's a platform that's been there for a while, but we're knocking down some doors, elevating beyond style.
That's right.
Making a new normal.
That's right. And that's just that's an example of the doctor coming out and saying, dude, you guys, you think you're seeing, you're not seeing. You got to like readjust your vision, and boom, here we go. And it starts with waking up every single day and being very intentional, being very specific about the outcome you want for that day, instead of just going through your to-do list. I do it all the time. Like I catch myself doing it all the time. I write my list. I got my emails. I got the phone calls. I got the clients. And then I got elevating beyond and boom, boom, boom. Yes, I had a great day. I come home. I collapse. I'm like, oh, I'm tired. And I look back. I'm like, what did I really, like, what was my intention for the day? Was it to be busy and tired? Did it, done it. But is that going to be, and then you wake up the next day, you rinse and repeat. And then all of a sudden 6 months have gone by. What did you really accomplish?
Yeah. Right?
Versus, man, if I would have set an intention every day, that like in 6 months could have been the result of a normal 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got to be willing, like, oh man, there's this great book. I can't remember the author's name, on mindset. And they talk about a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset.
Yes.
And, you were asking before, how have you kind of like continually adapted to this introspection, I guess, of when you're being too busy, you know, and not effective. And that's what a mindset that actually is not fixed, but is willing to grow, because what might have worked last year might not work this year.
Yes.
As things change. And some people can get stuck on that and be like, wait a second, it has to stay. This routine worked. It has to. And we have to be willing to step back. I mean, even I had to learn that as our company grew from like 2 team members to 14. Like, I had to continually lead in a whole different way and run but we always talk about this too. Our principles and core values don't ever change.
Right.
But our processes and systems do, and daily routines need to, you know, but that doesn't mean that we devalue our principles or anything ever. But you need to continually be kind of reassessing your situation and making sure. Now, Dane, do you have anything to speak on situations that, I mean, even in your own example, where maybe you were blinded by or not seeing the right things towards your bigger vision and kind of paralyze you to run away or not kind of keep taking that scarier path?
Yeah. 2 things came to mind right away, and I'm not sure if you try to set me up, you sucker. Like you're trying to, like, I don't know if you're trying to coach me on purpose, but number one, my book. And that has been such a weight on my shoulder. I was planning on taking all my blogs that I had for, like 8 years worth of blogs and putting them and making them into a book. And when we redid my site, I lost every blog, every post. And that was like and so then I started, to write some stuff down on my own. I've changed that up and I've gone back and forth. But right now, as we speak, I'm battling that right now because I'm trying to prioritize. I know the how of it. I know the importance of it, but it doesn't feel like it's calling me to do it right now. I know that I should. I know people say you should, but I'm in that state of stuck right now. I have a lot written down, but it's just like I'm battling the priority.
Yeah.
And that's number one, the first thing that came into my mind. And number two, taking the personal coaching that I'm doing and turning it into regular speaking events. That was the stuck factor in the past, where I didn't have the intention. I was always like, okay, I'm coaching, I'm doing groups. This is great. But my heart is really being called to the stage and to really touch more light and to really, talk about the message. And I was paralyzed on that for a while. I was blind, quote unquote, right? And now I see. Ooh, I just brought out some
there you
church.
go.
I brought some church out, baby. And now, just as recently, right? Just within the last couple months, I've really made it extremely intentional. Every day, every week, what am I doing to get that speaking career closer? Like, that's my intention every day,
nice.
Along with the coaching, and that's the one separate part. And you and I are separate on the elevating beyond. We're being intentional there now.
Sure.
So you asked me, and long story short, it's going from coaching to speaking, being paralyzed to really take the necessary steps and being intentional about the speaking. Because I think I always battle the whole lack of worthiness story I tell myself. Will they like me? Right? Like we talked about with the past guest.
With Stephanie, yeah.
Yes, Stephanie. That's right. Stephanie O'Brien. What will they like me? Will they like the message? Et cetera, et cetera. That whole lack of. So that's been the transition lately. Is taking that in. Am I being blind? Am I working hard and not really not being effective? And how do I do that? Every day I set an intention now. What the end of this day, it's going to do what? And like you said, like, it's not like we're not robots, so we fail all the time. And
sure.
We have to be aware and look at, and we don't always do what we say we're going to do and do what we should do. But I'm telling you, man, like we always say, we're not where we want to be. Sure as heck not where we used to be.
Yes. And learn from, exactly. And, take advice from people that have had some success in the areas you want to go to. It doesn't mean you need to do it exactly like that or copycat them, but they can teach you from their failures because they've been in areas that you want to travel.
That's right.
And also, like you're mentioning with a book, like one thing I always do, and speaking, is nervous and terrified as I get. That's what kept pushing me with the book too, is what if this wasn't good enough? But I kept feeling in my heart, this isn't about people liking me or not. This is about a message that's going to help people.
Yeah.
So I started to feel like it was a responsibility.
Yeah.
And by me not doing it, actually wasn't following what God was putting into my heart to do.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that, but it came on me really stronger at a really certain time too. And I was like, okay, God, I'm going to go through with this now. So, you know, you got to weigh out, is this what everyone's telling me to do? Or is this really what my heart's saying? 'Cause then you can kind of look at it like, okay, this year I'm going to focus more on building the speaking, and maybe this year I'm going to focus on the book. Or am I putting the book off that I really feel in my heart I'm supposed to be doing? So this year I'm going to focus on that and the speaking, you know, but it's different for everyone.
It's different for everyone. Everyone, you know, if I listen to all the experts, they all say, and I get it. They all, dude, the book will help your speaking. Yes, but you know what? If the book isn't number one on my priority list, I'm not going to sacrifice what I need to do.
You bet.
The speaking is a priority. Like, I just feel such a calling. Like, I prepared for, you know, speaking to Girls Inc. coaches at like the hours I prepped for that. And now I'm right on to preparing for another keynote next week for an all high school. And I got a couple other things lined up. Like that, like I will sacrifice for that. Like I'll do, but because that's the calling. So I'm listening to the calling. Is it in reverse order of what a lot of people say? Yeah, but so what? Like,
it doesn't matter.
It's not their vision. It's not their calling.
No.
And as you said, reach out to the people that have done it before you and pick their brain. It doesn't mean you have to listen to everything they say, but that's been a big part of what I've done. I've contacted so many. I mean, we're so blessed to have one of the best speakers in the history of the world on our team, you know, in our, you know, where we can call at any moment, no, not on our team, but on our, you know, and Eric Thomas, right? To be able to call him and text him. And I mean, how much better of a mentor could you have? But other people as well, we've reached out, right? Dan Waldsmith, and we just keep naming the people. And that has been my intention every day. How can I get this closer? How can I make this vision closer of spreading the message for, you know, people need to hear, maybe people need to hear it a different style, a way that I want to present it. What do I have to do today? What do I have to do today to make that vision closer? How to make that vision closer? Okay, well, I got to call Dan, or I got to text Eric, or I got to talk to Mark, or I got to, whatever it is, right? That's the intention versus I got to do the social media. I got to do these emails. I got to make a call. I got to see my clients. At the end of the day, I'm tired and I feel like I've done a lot, and I haven't done anything to get me closer to what that calling, what that thing has been like just pulling at me. To get done, right?
Yeah, and you've got to be able to weather through. Sometimes you can feel like sometimes what you need to do is actually go back 300 miles when you're at like mile 800 is what it feels like, and readjust that area and then walk all the way back to mile 800 with the right tools and equipment that you should have had, because had you got to the end without those, then you wouldn't have been able to be successful.
That's right.
And it can feel like you went back and you're losing all this. And that's where people could then go all the way back to the beginning and be like, I'm just going to not speak at all and go back into this little comfort zone, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where you have to realize, like, I really didn't go back 300 miles, even though it feels like it. I just am getting the right wisdom and applying the right tools, whatever it may be. So I'm moving forward overall. Because you can get stuck on what you're dwelling on, right? Like in the moment. And it takes billions of moments built up to create that final vision.
I think you hit such an awesome point where you say you got to step back 300 miles. When we readjust our vision, when the eye doctor comes out and says, you need glasses, readjust the vision. Like when we do that, it doesn't mean we're going to get these beautiful specs. They're perfect. Now we're going to keep moving forward. Right? Like it does literally when you're taking a literal eye test for literally your reading glasses. But as it pertains to our life on a big picture, and we're talking about vision, when you readjust that vision and you realize, okay, oh my gosh, I kind of have been blind every day. It doesn't mean you got this perfect launching pad forward. Like you just said, Mark, very often when you readjust and you look at yourself through clear lenses, you might go back, and most likely you probably will go back before you can step forward again. I think that's critical, because I think people, okay, I'm going to readjust today. I'm going to make every day very intentional, and I'm just going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to keep on moving forward. That most likely will not be what happens. When you get intentional and you really look at your situation and what you've been doing versus what you should be doing, you're going to probably have to start back a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you willing to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. And as the time gets closer to ending too, I think it's so important for everyone to know, everyone we've continued to know and talk to, including ourselves and all of our different guests, have not ever perfectly had anything mapped out for them, and
That's right.
have completely, hey, there's been times where they've been told, you're blind, dude, you need glasses, and then they got the wrong glasses, and then got all the way up there and realized, okay, wait a second, I have to go all the way back, and I know I do need glasses, but now I have to study the right ones to get. I got to go back 300 more miles even. Yeah. But then when they get up to that mountain peak that they're climbing, they're able to see where they wouldn't have been able to see before had they not had those right glasses and fallen down and died. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. Okay. We haven't had one of these in a long time, but that right there, that is worth a moment of silence for Mark. Let's moment of silence real quick. Perfect. There you go. I love it. That was like, wow, that was right off the top. That was, you ad-libbed that sucker. There was no script or notes taken right there. Even though you get your doctor saying you need glasses, doesn't mean you're going to be given the right glasses. You might have to readjust the glasses you were given and relearn. Marky, I got little chills right now. If you were with me right now, if you weren't all the way in Ohio, I'd give you a big kiss.
Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, because it could be as important as you're at the peak, those steps are narrower and steeper, and you want to be able to see the best you can, because those steps towards the end of that little peak, you take that one wrong step and you could be tumbling down from a way higher point than where you were before. Yeah. So you really want to do your best to make sure you've got those right glasses for by the time you got there, even though in daily terms it might feel like you're wasting your time. You're not, because when you get there and maybe it's one little rock that you might not have seen with those right glasses on. Yeah. When you get there, then you realize, oh, now I see why I spent 200 hours on getting those right glasses. Obviously, we're using that as an analogy. So I could step over that little pebble right there and made it up to the top. Perfect.
That's a perfect way to wrap right there, my friend. I love it. I love it. So I think first off, it was phenomenal doing another one-on-one show. I love it. I've missed these, man. I've missed giving Mark hugs and kisses via Skype. I've missed it.
I said me too early. But,
You did. You give yourself kisses. I knew. You need to speak something. You need to speak some truth. What's up?
Me too, man. I missed these for sure.
Yeah. So a real quick wrap, as we're talking about your eyes get adjusted to the deficiency in your vision. That is so deep, man. That's so deep. That's actually going to be number one in my next keynote here next week, because I'm coming right out with that one. That it's so deep because it goes so in so many directions with your life, right? You get used to the mediocrity that you may not think is mediocre, right? You're hustling, you're working, you're grinding, you're spending 80 hours a day hustling, but maybe you're on the hamster wheel. So the question is, are you on the hamster wheel? Actually, I want to wrap this way too before I get into the quick takeaways. I wanted to do this real quick, just a challenge to you. Are you on that hamster wheel? Do you need to readjust? And let's just assume, let's just all do it together to step out, to get that aerial view. What do you need to adjust that maybe you didn't know, right? Let's challenge what you think you knew, right? And what do you have to readjust? And then when you find that answer every day here, what's going to be your intention tomorrow? And that's the challenge, is every day, let's write a specific intention for the end of your day, not a to-do list. You can go through your to-do list, but what is it leading to, right? It's like the GPS in your car, punch in the finished product first, right? So let's challenge you to take a step back. And are you on the hamster wheel? It doesn't mean you are, but you won't know. Right? Yeah. Like Iyanla said, she would never have known she needed glasses if she didn't get those tests. Yep. So back out. What do you need to adjust? And then go make those daily intentions, man. It'll change you. It's crazy. Just the little things change us. So, Mark, real quick, just a couple takeaways. Be willing, like you said, I'm going from what you just said. Be willing to step back 300 miles. You might not even know, the glass, you need glasses A and B. You might have the wrong glasses. Be willing to step 300 and another 300. It's that last pebble you might have to step over. And, so be willing to go back. And as you said, also, nothing's perfectly mapped for us, right? It's no perfect conditions. You just keep hustling, keep doing, keep praying on it, keep praying. And as we always say, pray in action. You always say pray with your feet.
Yeah.
Right. Keep working. Keep
yeah.
hustling.
Someone told me that, but, I can't, whoever it was, I give them credit, but yes, pray on your feet.
Yep. So Mark, man, real quick too, as we wrap, we want to, remind our audience too that I am elevating beyond, the hashtag I am elevating beyond. We want to keep asking you to share, if it's not your story, then tag someone who you believe is living courageously, who's battling through some fear, has just, going through their go-through. Maybe they're going through it. Maybe they've gone through it, and you want to share them. Tag on all the social media, right? Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, hashtag I am elevating beyond. It's been an awesome response to that, huh, Mark?
Yes, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's been a cool movement. Some awesome, courageous people out there. And that's our why right there.
That is. It's sure as heck not about you and I'll tell you that much. And also as it relates to that, we always want to hear, your story, what you're going through. We keep saying it and saying it and saying it. The fear, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for someone else you never even met before, who you may never meet ever, is waiting for you. They're waiting for you to get through your fear. They're just sitting on the edge of their seat because they want to share it so badly, but they're feeling alone. Go to elevatingbeyond.com and share your story. That fear you're battling through is going to spark someone's courage. I'm telling you. And when they hear what you've gone through, it'll make them courageous enough to share their story. And that right there, my friend, is what Elevating Beyond is all about. So let's wrap it, baby. No more freaking excuses. I don't want to hear about how hard it is. I'm so sorry. It's cold in the morning. Get up and get working. Do some extra. Sacrifice what most will not sacrifice. No more excuses. Get committed. Instead of just being interested, whether we're talking about your relationships or your business or your sport, never settle. Never quit. Keep raising your bar and keep elevating beyond.